my channel, or if you are new, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button down below and keep up with all the craziness that is Spoonie and the roomies. So today I thought it would be kind of fun to take a parenting quiz. Not to like see if I'm a good parent or a bad parent, you know, I do the best that I can, but I think that it would be interesting to see like what my parenting style is. So I'm actually going to do this one that was a part of Psychology Today, and basically it says it'll take 25 minutes. What does it take to be a good parent? Literature on parenting identifies 4 major styles: authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved. These are based on the extent to which parents are responsive, offer warmth and support, and demanding level of behavioral control. So that's just like basically it in a nutshell. So we're gonna take this quiz and see. First question. I make myself available to my children when they need me. Am I there when you need me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I agree. I think that I do my best to be there for her when she needs me, but not all the time, because I do think that it's important.
Not all the time.
Because I think that it's important for her to learn some problem solving skills of her own. Am I a good mommy? Yeah. Number 2, while my children live under my roof, they will live by my rules. 100% agree. My house, I pay the bills, my rules. Right? Number 3, I love my children unconditionally. Of course. Does mommy love you?
She loved her baby and her mommy and her daddy.
Number 4, I encourage self-expression and individuality in my children. I'm just gonna go with agree for this one, because I do think that it's important, but obviously as a parent it's very important to still make sure to, you know, make sure they're being safe. So number 5, I think it's very important to offer praise and admiration towards children so that they will know that they are loved and accepted. I think I very strongly agree with that. Number 6, I would rather give in to my child's desires than to get into an argument and have them be mad at me. No, I don't care if she's mad at me. Number 7, it is important for parents to be on the same page when it comes to their children. Yes. I think whether or not you are raising a child separated or together or any form thereof, I think that it's very important to at least be on the same page. Because otherwise you're sending that child mixed messages. Number 8, children need to be disciplined so that they will learn when they have done something wrong. I very strongly agree with this, and I think that a lot of people think that discipline is physical, but it doesn't have to be. I think that you as a parent get to decide what you feel is appropriate as far as discipline is concerned. So number 9, I expect my children to accept and adopt my judgments, opinions, and values as their own without questioning me. I very strongly disagree. I want my children to have their own opinions, and I want them to be educated on the topics. And honestly and truly, I don't think that I would be the best person to educate them on them, because even though I do try to see both sides of things and educate myself on both sides of an argument, at the end of the day I do feel there are some topics that I do feel very strongly about, and so you get a very biased view. So number 10, I would strictly control my kids' TV watching, only a limited time per day and only carefully chosen programs. Right now, because she is a toddler, for sure. Especially because right now her brain is so moldable and so pliable as far as learning how to behave and what is appropriate and what isn't. I think that it is extremely, extremely important to monitor what your children are watching both on TV and online. Every night at dinner, I would want my family to sit together at the table and talk about their day. So I'm gonna go with strongly agree. It's something that I want. It's something that I had as a child, and I feel like it made my family a lot closer. We were able to speak about open issues and to kind of bounce off of each other as far as experiences and that kind of a thing, as well as just that time together, because we were all going, there were 5 of us, we were all going so many different directions so fast that it was very important. So number 12, parents who allow their kids to go to daycare at a young age are irresponsible. I completely disagree with this. My 3-year-old goes to daycare, as well as when this baby is here, she will start daycare at 6 weeks old. I think that it's not irresponsible. I think it would be irresponsible to not send your child to daycare and not be able to pay your bills. Number 13, babies should only be given organic or homemade baby food to eat. I don't agree or disagree. I think that it's up to you as a parent. Plain and simple. Number 14, before initiating a major punishment for my child, I would discuss it with my partner first. So I think that for a major punishment, it has to be something very severe that you've probably already talked to your partner about, or it has been more than one time that said infraction has happened, and again, that you speak to your partner first. 15, childhood is a troubling time. Children need constant love and attention to help them through. I very strongly agree with this. 16, I encourage open communication in my house. I very strongly agree with this. I think that it's important to have an open line of communication for your child to feel comfortable to come to you with any questions or concerns that they may have, whether or not you agree with them or not. Number 17, I would keep a detailed baby book containing all of my child's milestones. No. I just disagree. Number 18, I would be involved in all of the activities that my kids take part in, for example, as a coach, Girl/Boy Scout leader, chaperone, or bake sale coordinator. I'm going to say I agree, but I don't strongly agree with this. My family was very active in our lives. My mom was Girl Scout leader and my cheerleading coach. My dad was the Cub Scout leader, the Boy Scout leader, and the vice president of the football association that we were a part of for several years. It just depends on your family and how much you want to be involved. I'm not saying that you have to be, and that doesn't make you a bad parent, and being involved doesn't necessarily make you a good parent either. So I think that it's really up to you and your family and what's going on. Number 19, parents should carefully monitor their children's development, weight, reflexes, cognitive and motor skills, and check them against the charts to ensure they are on track. Your doctor does this for you. Your pediatrician or family doctor does this. And if there are any concerns that you have that you feel that your doctor is not looking at, you need to ask them as a parent. That's your responsibility. And if you still feel that something is wrong and that they are not really listening to you, then you need to find a new doctor, because that's your child and that's your child's health. Okay, number 20, children should be sheltered from any exposure to injustice or bad behavior of others. I very strongly disagree with this. I think that it's important for them to witness it within a controlled environment so that you as a parent or an adult can explain to them what was wrong and what the repercussions of that action are. 21, parents who disagree about parenting decisions in front of their children risk confusing them. I very strongly agree with this. Any argument in general that you're going to have with your partner should not be in front of children. Number 22, you are doing laundry and a condom falls out of your 15-year-old daughter's jeans. What do you do? A, I'm worried about her being sexually active at such a young age, but I don't want to bring it up and make her angry at me for intruding. B, I sit her down and have a talk about safe sex and the consequences. Show face if she's not responsible. C, nothing, it's bound to happen sooner or later, at least she's using condoms. D, I get angry with my daughter and don't let her out of my sight. I want to make sure she's not acting inappropriately. E, I have a talk with my daughter about safe sex and her behavior, telling her the privileges will be taken away if she is not more responsible. F, I sit my daughter down and tell her she should feel comfortable talking with me about these things. She can do as she pleases, but I also want to make sure that she's safe. I personally would pick the last one. I feel like that leaves the most open line of communication between you as a parent and your child. Obviously, I don't have a 15-year-old, so I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I was a 15-year-old girl once, and that was something that my mom left open to me. That's my opinion. Question 23. You heard through the grapevine that your 16-year-old daughter might have a love interest at school. You, A, don't really care, your daughter can do as she pleases. B, nonchalantly ask her about it, but not in a way that makes it seem as if you're intruding. C, demand every detail. You will not have your child getting romantically involved with someone unless you approve. Or D, are curious, but you're sure she wouldn't appreciate you sticking your nose in her business. So I'm her parent, so it's my job to stick my nose in her business. I need to know what's going on. I need to know that she's being safe. However, as long, if I just heard a rumor that she has a love interest, that's fine. You know, go for it. But if it were they're very serious, then, then it opens the door of, all right, maybe wanting to know more because you want to know how serious, and at 16, that's a very dangerous word kind of a thing. So, I would say B, nonchalantly ask her about it, but not in a way that makes it seem as if you're intruding. All right, number 24. Perfect timing. You have a pounding headache and your kids don't have school because it's a national holiday. Excited because they get the day off. They are running around the house like mad. What do you do? A, I take a painkiller and let them run about. B, I yell at them to stop horsing around and tell them to go play quietly in their rooms. C, I try to explain the situation but don't push if they can't contain their excitement. D, I try to explain the situation and discipline them if they do not obey my request. I'm gonna go with C, I try to explain the situation but don't push it if they can't contain their excitement. And I think that that's important because, again, it's that open line of communication where it's saying that, all right, this is how I'm feeling, but I understand that you're excited, so if we can just kind of work together, I feel like that's the best option for us. Number 25, your 16-year-old son has been brought home by a police officer because he has been caught smoking marijuana while skipping school. What do you do? A, put my son into rehab. This will not be tolerated in my household. B, I get very worried about him and ask him if everything is going okay at school. However, I also let him know I am very disappointed and tell him his privileges will be taken away until further notice. C, kids his age are going to experiment with all kinds of illegal things. There's nothing I can do about it. D, I get extremely worried about him. I tell him everything will be okay and that I am here for him whenever he needs me. E, I kick him out of the house. F, I have a talk with him about the consequences of his behavior will have on his future, but do not punish him too severely. I am going to go with I get very worried and ask if everything is okay at school, as well as, I'm disappointed and that I take the privileges away. Because, you want to show concern because he's skipping school, but you also want to kind of lay down the law without pushing them away. 26. Your son needs to clean his room. It's a mess. He has plans to play baseball with his friends the next morning at 9 a.m. What do you do? A, I tell my son he needs to clean his room sometime today or stay in tomorrow until it's done. B, I clean it myself. C, I let him have a messy room. He's the only one who has to sleep in it. D, I tell him he needs to clean his room before he goes anywhere, but in the end I'll still allow him to go on the condition that he cleans it when he gets back. E, baseball is out of the question. He needs to learn to keep his room clean or privileges will be taken away. So I'm going to go with A. I tell him he needs to clean his room sometime today or stay in tomorrow until it's done. That's how I was raised, and I think that it, it taught me the expectations that my parents had for me, as well as respect for other people and how to manage my time. 27. You're shopping for your niece's 5th birthday and your 2-year-old son spots a toy that he wants. Now, you only have enough money for your niece's gift and your toddler is starting to throw a tantrum. What do you do? A, I buy my baby the toy. I will just have to come back with more money for a gift for my niece. B, I tell my son I'm going to buy his cousin a gift today, but if he's a good boy, we can come back and get the toy tomorrow. C, I march him out of the store crossly and firmly announce that his behavior is unacceptable and he will be punished if kept up. D, ignore the tantrum. I can't be bothered to try and reason with him. I will pass. E, I calmly but firmly tell my toddler that only good behavior is rewarded and that his behavior is unacceptable. So I'm going to go with that last one. I feel like ignoring the tantrum is, if you're at home, I feel like that's an acceptable answer, but not in a store. And I think that depending on the situation and it's hard to explain. Depending on the tantrum itself, and if the child has already been, if the child keeps whining and then throws a tantrum, yeah, march out of that store. But if we just go into full-blown tantrum from the beginning of it, I ain't doing that. 28. Your 7-year-old son has been acting up recently at school. This is your second call from his teacher that he's been hitting other children on the playground. What is your reaction? A, I discipline him and have a talk with him about treating others as he would wish to be treated. B, he's probably just going through a phase. Punishing him will only make it worse. C, I get very cross with him. I give him double the punishment since it's the second time. D, he is just playing. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go with A, I discipline him and have a talk with him about treating others the way that he would wish to be treated, since it is his second time. However, I personally feel that he might lose some privileges as well, because it's a conversation that we probably already had if it's already been an issue. 29. Your daughter's on a school trip and asks to borrow your expensive new camera. She promises she will take extra special care of it. No, she's not taking it. It's not an option, but when she comes back from her trip, however, she tells you that one of the kids stole it from her and broke it. Upon inspecting the camera, it's obvious that it fell in the water. You know she is lying. What do you do? I scold her. A, I scold her for breaking my camera and punish her for lying. B, I let it go. It was an accident. C, I ask her if she's certain that is what happened, and if she continues lying, I punish her and lecture her about the importance of telling the truth. That's what I'm going to go with, C. All right. Are we almost done? Number 30. Your 5-year-old son has major attachment issues. It's his first year at school and he cries every morning when it's time to go. What do you do? A, I ignore his cries. He has to go to school, period. B, I consider holding him back a year. I don't want to push him and have him resent me if he's not ready. C, I have a talk with my son about the importance of school, but if he wants to stay home, I'm not going to traumatize him by forcing him. D, I have a talk with him about how he's feeling, but tell him he must go to school and that in time he'll start to really enjoy it. Or E, I ignore his cries. I'm not about to waste my time trying to reason with a 5-year-old. All right, that last one is ridiculous. In my opinion. I think that it's very important to explain things to your child, and I think that it's very important to validate their emotions. So I'm gonna go with D. I have a talk with him about his feelings, but tell him he must go to school and that it's time that he'll start to really enjoy it. Okay, number 31. Your 6-year-old daughter is terribly afraid of the dark. She wakes up in the middle of the night and cries for you. She is convinced there's a boogeyman in her closet. What do you do? A. I hold out as long as I can, but if she persists, I would get up and tell her there's no need to be afraid and get some sleep. B. I tell her to crawl in bed with me so I can keep her safe. C. I tell her that there's no such thing as monsters and demand she go back to sleep. D. I ignore her cries. She is a big girl and needs to learn to sleep through the night on her own. E. I shine a flashlight into her closet and assure her that there is no boogeyman. F. I confront her and tuck her back into... I comfort her. Oops. And tuck her back into bed. I would shine a flashlight into the closet and assure her that there is no boogeyman. And then from that point on, if it was still an issue, I would probably hold out as long as I could. And then tell her that there's no need to be afraid and that we need to be a big girl. Number 32, you're growing strawberries in your greenhouse and your 4-year-old daughter knows she's not supposed to eat them without your permission. It's obvious your daughter has disobeyed you because she has strawberry all over her face, but she denies eating any. What do you do? A. I punish her for eating the strawberries without my permission and get even angrier with her for lying. B. Where's my camera? This is too cute. C. I save my breath and let her get away with it. D. I punish her for disobeying and tell her that if she wants strawberries, she needs to ask, not lie. I'm gonna go with that last one. 33. Your beloved family dog, Scruffy, has died and your 9-year-old son is very upset. How do you deal with the situation? A. I tell him he can pick out a new pet, whatever he wants. B. I take the opportunity to talk to him about death, mourning, and moving on while not forgetting about getting a new puppy once he's ready. C. I tell him that Scruffy would want him to be strong and there's no point in crying over it. D. I let him deal with it on his own, but if it gets out of hand, I would step in and comfort him as best I could. E. I tell him that Scruffy is in doggy heaven now and will always be with him in spirit. F. Death is a part of life. He needs to buck up and be strong. I'm gonna go with B, that I take the opportunity to talk to him about death mourning and not forgetting about and then getting a new puppy when we're ready. 34. Your 18-year-old daughter did not get into the college of her choice, the school that you were hoping she'd go to. She is very upset, as are you. What do you do? A. I hide my disappointment, console her, and help her pick out an alternative path. B. I yell at her and tell her she needs to study harder. C. I take her out shopping. That usually makes teenage girls feel better. D. Nothing. If she wants to talk about it, she will come to me. E. I find it difficult to hide my disappointment and probably ask her if she was studying hard enough. However, if she started to get upset, I would do my best to comfort her. F. Nothing. I'm sure she can figure this out on her own. So I'm gonna go with A. I hide my disappointment, console her, and help her pick out an alternative path. 35. Your 4-year-old son has learned the bath and bedtime routine and is a handful to get in the tub each night. How do you deal with the situation? A. I punish him until he learns to obey me. B. I read him his favorite story in the tub to make bath time a happy and relaxed place, but if he still refuses to get in, I won't force him. C. I can't stand to see him upset. Maybe we'll just sponge off tonight. D. If he doesn't want to take a bath, I'm not about to battle with him. E. I tell him that only clean, good little boys get to play with their toys. I guess in this case, I would say that I would try to make bath time more fun for him. However, I personally, your child doesn't need a bath every day. Plain and simple. Number 36. Your teenage son has been acting very strange lately. He's usually bubbly and attentive, and his usual bubbly and attentive nature has turned somewhat reclusive and quiet. What do you do? A, I let the teenage years take their course. It's probably just a phase, so there's no reason to worry. B, I sit down and talk with my son to let him know I'm worried and that I'm here to listen and help if he needs me. C, I jump at the next opportunity. My son is not around to search his room to find anything that may be questionable. I've heard of this kind of behavior when teens start taking drugs. D, I'm very worried, but I don't want to push him away by intruding. I just give him lots of love and attention to let him know I care. E, I'm very worried and ask him if everything is okay, but I don't push. F, I give him the third degree. If something is wrong, I will get to the bottom of it. So I think that mom intuition is a very strong thing, and so you know your kid pretty well, so you can really get a vibe of whether something is seriously wrong or not. So I would be worried, and I think that I would ask him if everything is okay, but I'm not gonna push because I don't want him to not feel comfortable coming to me and having the open conversation. So yeah. 37. Your little girl is a very picky eater and only likes to eat peanut butter sandwiches. What do you do? A, sounds good, easy enough. B, peanut butter sandwich it is. Would you like the crust cut off too? C, I try to give her more variety, like maybe a little jam with the peanut butter, but if she cries, I will make her what she wants. D, she will eat what I make her, or she won't eat at all. E, I try various combinations to make sure she's getting the nutrition she needs. If she still refuses, I let her know that if she doesn't eat her food, privileges will be taken away. This is the food I made and this is what you're eating. You'll eventually get hungry enough. 38. Your daughter just won 3rd place at the science fair. What is your reaction? A, I praise her endlessly. I'm so proud of her. B, I tell her well done and that I am proud of her. C, I tell her she did a good job, but I don't overdo it on the praise. D, I don't do anything. Only first prize deserves praise. E, silence. I wouldn't know what to say. F, science fair. Not really my thing. I wouldn't really care. F, I get upset with her for not trying harder. As long as my kid has tried their best and put forth the most effort that they can, I will praise them for whatever they get, even if it's a participation ribbon, because they tried, they did their best. Number 39. If my partner made an important decision regarding our children without discussing it first with me, I would be upset. A, true, I think parents should discuss major decisions. B, true, I want to make most of the parenting decisions. C, false, I don't care about such decisions. D, false, I would trust my partner to make such decisions without me. So I'm gonna go with false. I do trust him to make those decisions. However, I would like to be a part of them. 40. I trust my children to make the right choices. I'm gonna go with for the most part. I trust that I have helped guide them enough that they make the right decisions, but sometimes there's situations that they've never come across that you never thought they would come across. So you never know. All right, 41. I set firm boundaries for my child. A, nothing like me. My children are free to do as they please. B, yes, but I also grant freedom within reason. C, exactly like me. I endorse a very structured environment with clear stated rules. I'm gonna go with B, yes, but I also grant freedom within reason. 42. I want my children to A, obey and respect me. B, be themselves, but also respect authority. C, look after themselves. D, do whatever it is that makes them happy. E, respect my rules, but feel free to speak up if they don't agree with them. F, obey my rules so I can leave them alone without having to worry about them. I'm gonna go with B, be themselves, but also respect authority. All right. Okay. So I scored in the mid-range for the perfect parent syndrome score. I scored a 41. According to your responses, while you may understand the urge to be highly involved and nearly perfect parent, you know that trying to raise a child in a faultless manner is next to impossible. You want your kids to be able to enjoy their childhood and look back fondly on it. You may read a few books on child rearing and be highly involved in your kids' activities, but you'll still let them be kids. You believe that they still manage to become happy and functional people regardless of what you do. People who want to be perfect parents risk stressing themselves out in addition to the rest of the family because their constant struggle is for perfection. I agree. All right, guys. Sorry, that was a bit of a long video, but I do think that it was interesting, and for this quiz, you can actually like pay to get the report if you're really that interested. And this was posted in Psychology Today, so I feel like it's a reasonable, creditable source. So I will link it in the description down below in case you guys are interested. Like I said, I just thought it would be interesting and to kind of open up some thoughts maybe. But anyways, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video. Bye guys.